And John, of course, who could forget that 1983 game, Ray Perkins' first season at Alabama replacing the Bear. The touchdown catch, that wasn't a touchdown. For most of that game, it wasn't close. Alabama fell behind Penn State at Happy Valley 34-7 before quarterback Walter Lewis led a furious rally, completing 15 of his final 18 passes. Lewis put the Tide within 6, but in the closing seconds, he threw what looked to be the game-winning touchdown to tight end Preston Gothard of Montgomery, but despite visual evidence to the contrary, Gothard was ruled out of bounds and Alabama lost 34-28. Joining us on the phone this morning from State College, Pennsylvania is none other than the aforementioned Preston Gothard. Preston, good to have you with us this morning, and you're kind of reliving a lot of memories this week up there in Pennsylvania. Let's start with that catch. You know, what is so strange about that game was early on Alabama was playing well, and then a turnover, and then Penn State got all over you going into the fourth quarter like a lost cause, but Lewis got hot. You got within 6, fourth down, and you were tied in thinking you might have to block on that play. You wind up going out into the end zone and get wide open. Pick it up from there.
Yeah, we had. I was the third cog in the wheel, third tight end, and then short yardage and goal line. I was the offside tight end, and we had Penn State always had what they called a hero position, which was kind of a mixture of a linebacker and a strong safety. And the blocking scheme was which if he was off the line of scrimmage, I had just a little hookup route in the back of the end zone. But if he came up on the line and showed blitz, I had to pick him up. And right before the snap of the ball, he was off, and I saw him like he was cheating. But when the ball snapped, I took off, and so did he, going for the quarterback. And I said, well, Walter's pretty elusive. He'll get away from him.
And he did.
That's why I was so wide open. They didn't have me playing. They didn't have they knew our blocking schemes. They knew if they put him up there, I was going to have to, check and block. And Walter did a great job getting away from him and got the ball to me. And, we caught it, hit the ground. The official never said I was out of bounds. He said I was bobbling the ball when I hit the ground and rolled out of bounds. So that way he was wrong on both counts.
Yeah, no doubt about it. And I know you were laying there and you asked Joey Jones, and he said you were in by a mile, and you weren't bobbling the football. So just one of those things that happens in college football. Let's talk about that game though, because a lot of people don't remember that season. Alabama lost 4 games, but going into Penn State, you guys were in the top 10 in the country. You're like a confident football team. You come all the way back in that game. Had that outcome been different, do you think that season might have been different?
I think absolutely it would have been different. That was that really let the air out of us. We were up 7-0. We drove the length of the field. It was first and goal on the 1-foot line. We had a quarterback sneak called, just going to touchdown. And something happened to the exchange. The ball hit, bounced back. They recovered it, went right down the field and scored. So instead of being up 14-0, we were tied 7-7. And they just caught fire. And I do believe that if we could have pulled that game out, that would have been a tremendous swing of confidence for us. And because we had a fantastic football team in '83, we were not a 4-loss club.
Well, Preston, don't go anywhere. We're going to take a break chatting with a gentleman that knows all about that. These Alabama players are taking their first trip, but Preston Gothard has played there, as we've already discussed. Preston, just your thoughts on what it's like to play at a great venue like Beaver Stadium against a team with all the tradition, much similar to Alabama in Penn State.
Yeah, it's very unusual up here to find. I played, of course, at Pittsburgh 4 years, and Pitt over there. The college, they've had great tradition at Pitt. They've won national championships. It's an afterthought for the community up here in the Northeast. Pro football is the king. But right here, Penn State is a very rarity for this part of the world because their fan base is absolutely bananas about Penn State football. And very, very much like Alabama as far as the way they we've been on the town. We've been here since Thursday afternoon, and these people are just great fans and very nice people, but they are passionate and they're loading up in here. Where they going to go, I don't know, because this thing is it's a wet, sloppy place. And they have had to, all of their tailgating is out here on the grass, and they've got all this roped off, and these people are going to have to make some adjustments, but they're here in droves.
One final question, and we're going to go back to that 83 game one more time. You had been on a couple of teams in 81 and 82 that defeated Penn State. In fact, 83 was the first time ever Alabama lost to Penn State. The Tide was 4-0 going into that game. What a lot of people forget is it was fourth down on your catch that was ruled a non-catch, but Penn State had a penalty. So the ball was moved in from the 4 to the 2. You decide, Coach Perkins decides to run the toss sweep to Kerry Good. It didn't get blocked real well. He got eaten up. You think you guys maybe were in shock after what had happened in the previous play, and that play, what happened?
I think, we were expecting, obviously that, what we were hoping, they were expecting a pass. And their defensive coordinator made a great call. He sold out on us running that sweep. That was our bread and butter play. And if you'll notice, right before the snap, they had a complete shift to our strong side, and they just outflanked us. And, I read Walter's article, and our guards and all were telling Walter to check out of it. We knew we couldn't block it, but we didn't have a check for inside, and we just did not have a good goal line check off. That was one of the plays we could just about run against any front. But they just completely sold out on us going that way, and they just had us outnumbered. And we just couldn't block them all. So we did not. That was our bread and butter play. That's where we made all our hay. In Perkins' era was running that tall sweep, but they took a chance and just outflanked us on that side.
Well, sometimes Preston football is a chess game, and in that case,
absolutely,
it was checkmate for Penn State against Alabama. Hey, thanks for the time. We really appreciate it. Reliving some memories, and roll Tide this afternoon. Maybe it'll be a different outcome than it was in 1983.
Thank you much, guys.
All right, Preston Gothard, former Alabama tight end, joining us from State College, Pennsylvania. John?